Welcome to the dvm360. Give us 5 minutes and we'll update you with the veterinary news, medicine, and business information you need to know right now. I'm dvm360 Senior Editor Mindy Valcarcel. In this edition of the 5, we'll get an expert's advice on puppy house training and hear from a 9/11 first responder 10 years on. First up, the news. Mixed breed dogs make up 53% of U.S. companion canines, says a recent report. But what's the most popular ingredient in those mixes? According to the National Mutt Census, a study launched by Mars Veterinary in 2010, German Shepherd is the most common breed represented in our mixed population. Other popular breeds include Labrador Retriever, Chow Chow, Boxer, and Poodle. Thanks to the University of California, Davis School of Veterinary Medicine, veterinarians and horse owners have a new way to harvest equine stem cells. The school is now offering a kit for collecting equine umbilical cord tissue immediately following a foal's birth. For a fee, the UC Davis Regenerative Medicine Laboratory will process and store the tissue. This method of collection is far less invasive than acquiring stem cells from fat or bone marrow. Recovery from the March 11 earthquake and tsunami in Japan has been further complicated for humans and animals alike by the continuing crisis at the Fukushima nuclear power plant. As Dick Green of the International Fund for Animal Welfare noted in a blog, there is no established protocol for decontamination and/or treatment of animals affected by radiation, and little is known about the survivability of wildlife and pets, or the viability of feed animals exposed to radiation. Other agencies, such as World Vets and Humane Society International, are contributing to the relief effort. 2011 marks the 10th anniversary of the terrorist attacks on New York City and Washington, D.C. In 2001, Dr. Marie McCabe worked with the AVMA's veterinary medical assistance teams. She found herself at ground zero tending teams of search dogs. Here she describes just one concern her staff faced regarding dogs on 12-hour shifts.
During that 12-hour time period, because of the stress of being down at the pile, the dogs didn't drink like they should. So we were sometimes loading them with sub-Q fluids, which is when you take their skin over their shoulders and you can actually take a needle and kind of give them a drink. We would give them sub-Q fluids on their way down into the pile, and then 12 hours later on their way back, they'd come and see us. We'd do full physical exam, give them fluids again. Sometimes we weighed them on their way in and on their way out, and that's again to assess for hydration, because if you get dehydrated, you lose weight. And so if a dog's lost weight within 12 hours, that's a sign of dehydration.
For more coverage of veterinarians in disaster, see the April issue of DVM News Magazine. House training puppies can be a challenging and easily derailed process. If a 6 to 8 month old dog constantly asks to go out in the middle of the night, veterinary behaviorist Jackie Nielsen says that may be a result of owner behavior.
When I think about what's causing that pet to ask them to go out, one of the things may be something the owner has done, essentially paired with the elimination outing at night, to kind of encourage the dog to wake them up. So for example, some good examples of that would be maybe that they actually played with the dog post-elimination, or they fed the dog, or gave it, a treat, or something that made the dog think, hey, it's worthwhile waking them up at 3 a.m. If you've kind of arrived at that 6 to 8 month period and you're still getting awakened at night, the first thing obviously is to check with your veterinarian to make sure there's no underlying medical problem that is preventing that animal from holding at the capacity of the 6 to 8 hour period. Beyond that, then I start to look at, well, can we start to change owner behavior so that the dog isn't getting that reward? So yes, they still get up, they still let the dog out, but then it's almost like after it's gone to the bathroom and they said good dog for going to the bathroom, then they go right back to their sleeping spot, they ignore the dog for persistent requests to go outside.
We hope you've enjoyed this edition of The 5. If you have suggestions for future shows, email us at dvm360@advancedar.com. And for the latest news, medicine, and business information, be sure to visit dvm360.com every day. Tsunami. Okay, tsunami.